is enough information. I will tell you this, that this is not one of those workshops where you will have to get up in the room and share your personal information from your family of origin. You don't even have to turn to your neighbor and share it. There'll be no partner A or partner B. In fact, you can fill this out and you can fold it up and you can sit on it, and I can still tell you how to interpret it. It does not require my seeing your answers for me to tell you. However, I am going to ask you to write at least 5 or 6 words or phrases or sentences or memories, whatever comes to mind, in each of these categories. Now, you'll notice that they're numbered, as some people say, out of order. Basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And part of that is to get you out of your left brain. I'm not interested in the why because. I'm interested in you looking at this and writing the first word that comes to your mind when asked to describe your mother as the adult she was in the first 10 years of your life. What's the first word that comes to your mind? And as I tell people, write that down. Even if you don't understand why that's the first word that came to your mind. In fact, particularly if you don't understand. This is more of an emotional response inventory than it is a accurate representation. Chronologically, all I'm asking is that you describe her and your father and yourself and the relationships from the point of view you had as a child, which is in the first 10 years of your life. And just do it as quickly as you can. It's not a stop and think about, it's write it down as it comes to your mind. Remembering that what you write is private information and no one will see it but you. And that everything on there is what was going on in the first 10 years. For those of you who one of the parents died within the first 10 years, please put that at what age they died. Now, anyone who is adopted, the first questions that I'm asking are about your genetic parents. So if you had adopted parents, you might draw a line and fill in a little bit about them. But what you know about your genetic mother and father, whether it's by legend or fantasy, or information that you got from your adopted parents. Those of you who had a stepmother or a stepfather living in the house with you in the first 10 years, draw a line and put, my mother died when I was 3, my stepmother moved in when I was 5. And right, because both of those occurred in the first 10 years. Okay? And do try to write at least 5 or 6 things in each category. You can fill up the whole page if you have time.
It's an order that we do it.
It makes no difference whatsoever what order. You can start at 8, you can start at 4. Most of the American will tend to go to the left corner of the page and go left to right. So you might start at 2 if you do that. That's your left brain working for you and your conditioning. If you were over in Israel, you'd start over here at 3 and work the other way. If there were any tragedies, traumas, abuses, or any particularly significant events, divorces, or moves in your childhood or in your parents' lives, please write those in. Okay. Okay, how many of you need another minute? And I'm going to hurry up just a little bit and stress you just a little bit because the answers are better when you're stressed. Those of you who are already finished, what I'd like you to do is to go through each category and code each one. I want you to put either a plus or a minus in each category. In other words, if you were one of those 10% people that had an idyllic childhood, you may even want to put plus plus. If you had a awful childhood, you might want to put minus minus. If it was sometimes good and sometimes bad, you may want to put plus minus or minus plus. But it's up to you. I don't have any preconceived ideas of what it means. I had one gal one time put in her childhood minus, 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 minus. And when she told me what her childhood was like, I even added a minus or two. And if you're describing your father and you never knew your father, then you've got, or one of your parents left within the first 10 years, you've got to put a minus for that. The absence of a parent, the disappearance of a parent, the abandonment of a parent, the death of a parent, minus just for the absence.
These are pluses or minuses. Did you experience it then, or how do you look at it now?
As you experienced it then. We'll go back and look at it now, but I'm interested in how you experienced it then. For instance, I had one gal tell